grade, and everyone had a designated square in the class. And there was also a punishment square, which would be directly in front of my teacher. She would stare into your soul and make sure you knew what you did was wrong. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell already, but I'm a D1 yapper, so whenever I'd be in class, I would talk out of order, talk whenever I wanted to, and Zehra Naqvi would always be sitting on the punishment square. And it was so humiliating! It was horrible! It was public scrutiny for 10-year-old children! It's not okay. Well, that's what I thought. But public scrutiny has actually, people love it. People think it's a positive thing. People think it's a great way to incentivize people to do better things. And honestly, I did not talk in my classes in middle school, and I would bite my tongue, and it was hard, but I made it through, guys. Give it up for me. Give it up for me. There we go. No, but cancel culture is basically what that is. And I don't know if you guys understand what cancel culture is, but is anyone familiar with the concept of tarring and feathering? It was basically a very old thing that British people used to do when something went wrong, when someone committed a crime. So if Sir John stole bread from a bakery, they would take him in a public area, tar him with hot tar, put it all over his body, I know, and then put feathers on the person. And it was horrible, and people would walk by and be like, oh my God, don't ever steal bread like Sir John. And that's how people would learn not to commit crimes. And cancel culture is basically the modern version of tarring and feathering to a lot of experts. And for those of you that are a little bit that are unfamiliar with the concept, if someone basically publicizes an opinion, tweets, or posts an image, whatever it is, publicizes their opinion in some way, and people disagree with it or dislike that, they will show their disliking this through canceling the person, which basically means that they'll attack the person over social media, and then they will be like, oh, okay, I realized that was wrong. However, this is problematic in many different ways, because if it is taken to the next level, which it can be so easily now that there is social media, and within the hit of 3 buttons, you can share things so quickly, it can extrapolate very quickly. Just as an example, early in the 2000s, there was a famous show called Dance Moms. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but I grew off the show, and I loved it. And one of the girls in the show, she was 15 at the time, and her name was Peyton Ackerman, and she was a dancer. However, the directors portrayed her to be a bully, portrayed her to be like the antagonist of the entire show. And this is extremely problematic because she received death threats and hate messages online, which is extremely saddening for a 15-year-old girl to be going through that at her age when she's still growing and maturing, and had mentally affected her. And this is just one example. Additionally, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the song Friday by Rebecca Black. I absolutely love that song. And she was actually canceled too. But let me correct myself, she wasn't canceled for the song because it is an amazing song. She was canceled because of her age. She was 13 years old when the song was released, and people did not like that. So not only are we ageist and cannot listen to hype songs anymore, but we also are being disrespectful to people in our community that are releasing their art to the public. And this has been going on since ages. I mean, that song came out like 2013, which is a while ago. And it has gone up since then. People can publicize their opinion on anything, and they can get canceled immediately. And personally, I think this is an extreme issue because people are now not able to have clear communication. It's become filtered conversations that we're having, which is unfortunate because social media was originally there to bridge the gaps within the community and share our thoughts and ideas. And it's being misused in a way that people are now feeling that they can attack people online because they're more comfortable with talking online. It's hard to say rude things in person because that's just how we are. And the biggest issue for me with cancel culture is the fact that people can spread false information very, very quickly. If, for example, now don't cancel me before I say this, but I consume my cereal milk first. I think it's the only way. No! See, this is cancel culture. This is happening to me live. This is scrutiny. But no, I pour my milk first. Hate me all you want. I like it that way. But say I do that, right? And say Ritu is very anti-milk first. She'll say, hey, Zehra, that's not okay. And then she's going to tell every single person that, hey, cereal first, right? And whether that's say in this situation, milk first is the right way, right? So if Ritu says cereal first, everyone's gonna believe that, oh, cereal first, guys, cereal first. We canceled Zehra, no milk first. And that's basically what happens, and now we're spreading false information. False information meaning that cereal goes first. But misinformation can spread super quickly. Now, before, it was like, first I have to talk to this person, and that person has to communicate with that person. And now with advanced technology, it's become extremely easy to quickly spread information, whether it's true or false. And the worst thing about this is we may not know that we're misinforming the public because we're just taking what we saw on the WhatsApp group chat with my parents and then sending it to everyone, right? We don't know whether it's right or wrong. And I think that's the most detrimental aspect of it, is that some of us don't even know that we're misinforming the public. But recently, it's become a bigger issue in terms of political and geopolitical issues. Specifically with the 2016 election with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Stanford University did a test and actually found out that there were false stories created about Donald Trump, and those were shared 30 million times, about 3 to 4 times more than Hillary Clinton, causing him to get more publicity than Hillary Clinton during the election. So while people claim that the election was rigged or whatever they want to say, we can't really say that because it could have been the effects of social media that caused people to get publicized more than others. And then we've seen this multiple times in the Palestine and Israel conflict, with CNN and CNBC undergoing issues with misinformation and biasing stories. But going back to Hillary and Trump's case, this was not just affecting citizens of America, but it was also affecting global countries because depending on the candidate's policies, they are also being affected. And I think that's super important to understand that misinformation affects all people of all ages because it can extrapolate extremely quickly and the situation can become detrimental very quickly for our society. Especially since a lot of the youth are now on social media, many people, the younger generation is now being misinformed, causing the future generation to struggle even more. Now, I want to leave off by saying that as a teenager that is on social media often, and I am guilty, I love Instagram, I love it, I post all the time, but I think it's super important to understand that cancel culture and misinformation, we unfortunately cannot stop these issues. There's no ultimate solution that we can take. It's more about smaller steps that we should take as a community to make sure that we are cross-checking our news articles that we're reading, making sure that whatever we're saying is thoughtful and we're thinking about what we're posting rather than just canceling someone because of whatever they say online. And that respect is important to have online as well. And there should be social media norms that we follow and abide by. Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to listen to Friday without knowing that the artist got canceled, be able to watch Dance Moms without knowing that one of the girls had received death threats, and also know that I can sit on the Orange Square even if I talk too much in class. So I want to leave off with that. Thank you so much.